Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This is Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, 28 through 30. And these are the words of Jesus the Christ, who was speaking to an audience during this time, who likely was worn out from all sides. Likely worn out physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Worn out. Worn out from what, you may want to know? Well, during this time, you had the Roman province that taken over Israel. So you got Roman dictatorship and leadership in place. You also had the Jewish leaders in place too. Sanhedrin Council, the Pharisees, the scribes. Often they worked together, especially when it came to like the Roman IRS, the government, taxes, things of that nature. They worked together. But often the Jewish leaders during this time would go a little further as it relates to their spiritual journey. They would add things to God's law that God did not add. And it would cause continuous oppression spiritually for God's people. So an example would be they added, love your neighbor, but hate your enemy. And God never told anyone to hate their enemy. So Jesus had to come along in person, and he's on the mountain. He gives what is considered the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes. Then he goes into, you've heard it said, but I say. He had to come along and debunk all of the wrong teaching that the religious leaders were giving the people. And the people didn't know any better, so they thought that's what they were supposed to do, hate their enemy. But Jesus says, love your enemy. Pray for your enemy. So Jesus had to debunk all of that stuff. And these people were worn out because they could not keep the law to a T. And they were judged for that. By who? Religious leaders in place. Judging them for not being perfect with the law, even though they were not perfect. No one could keep 611 laws to a T. No one. This is one of the reasons why Jesus the Christ came into the earth realm, died on the cross, buried for 3 days, rose on the third day to atone for our sins, because no one could keep the law. We needed grace. But during this time, religious leaders are in place, keeping people in spiritual bondage, in oppression, by adding things that God didn't add. They had an agenda to be in control. Jesus recognized that. So these people are worn out. So like, how much more can we take? And they were worn out by labor as well. So family, Jesus recognized this and says, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest. Did you catch what's in that verse? It's rest that it's offered from Jesus. Oh, this ain't no normal rest. This ain't no cat nap. This ain't no power nap. This is rest, as Jesus said, from your soul, in your soul. This is internal rest. This is that rest when you, no matter what you're going through in life, nothing can compare to this rest. But here's the caveat in that verse. You have to accept the invitation from Jesus to receive it, because it's an invitation. Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest. So Jesus was telling them and us today, come to me, all of you who are stressed out. Come to me, all of you who are frustrated. Come to me, all of you who feel like throwing in the towel. Come to me, all of you who may be depressed. Come to me, all of you who are physically worn down from labor. Come to me, and I'll give you rest. But he doesn't stop there. Jesus says, take my yoke. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. Meaning, we're going to have burdens, and we're going to have a yoke. Let's talk about the context of that. During this time, oxen would plow the field. One on the left, one on the right. And they plow in the field, listen, Near East. Middle East, heat. So they plow in the field and they are carrying a heavy load while they are plowing. One on the left, one on the right. And around their necks was considered a yoke. So it's like a log with metal hooks around it, and the hooks are around their neck so they can plow in harmony together, side by side. But they were carrying a heavy load in the heat. So likely they would get worn out from carrying a heavy load. So likely they needed to stop and get water, and likely they needed to stop and get rest from carrying a heavy load. So Jesus used this metaphoric language to the people that were spiritually carrying a heavy load. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest. Somebody on the other side of the screen, my prayer for you is that you accept the invitation from Jesus Christ for his rest. Because you may be going through something right now and you don't know which way to turn. You may feel like giving up. And Jesus is saying, don't do that, champ. Don't do that, sis. Come to me and I'll give you rest. And yeah, you're going to have burdens in life. Yeah, you're going to go through some stuff in life. But here it is. What Jesus likely was trying to show an example to them and showing us an example today is that, yeah, you're going to have burdens. Yeah, you're going to have labor. But here it is. You do your part. You be on the left. And Jesus is likely telling us today, let me ride with you on the right. So as we are going through life and we're going through the storms of life, we're going through difficulties in life, let's not try to carry this burden alone. We can't. We ain't built like that. We can carry the burden with Jesus the Christ. And this is how we're able to sustain and survive and make it and get some rest. My prayer for you is that you accept the invitation from Jesus for that rest if you haven't already. It's Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, 28 through 30. God bless you and yours.